So I was sitting there, just doing my thing, when this woman looks at me and smiles and says,
"May I tell you a story?"
"Okay," I said. "What about?"
About a hero.
"Oh, right, with a cape and superpowers and stuff?"
No, a hero who dreams of saving the world.
"Saving the world from what?" I say.
From a horrible, disfiguring and painful disease that often leads to a lonely death.
She replies. "Well, what's the twist?"
Oh, you like a story with a twist?
"Every good story needs a twist."
Okay, how's this?
She says.
In Russia, you are so revered for your work that you have a town square and a diamond named after you.
But back home in the UK,
You're a nobody who dies destitute and penniless, and you're buried in an unmarked grave.
sounds good, I say. "Go on,"
Just imagine
she says. "You're a medic.
working in a war zone,
You see horrific stuff."
including leprosy.
"Leprosy," I say. "Isn't that where bits of your body fall off?"
That's the one.
She replies.
Your adventure begins when you hear a priest talking about this disease in Hawaii.
"You think?"
I'm going to go there, I'm going to cure everyone, and I'm going to rid the world of leprosy.
"How's this?" she says.
It's the 19th century, and you're a woman, and it's 25 years before anyone has thought of throwing themselves under a horse for your right to vote.
"And you're homosexual, which in those days was illegal for men and considered morally repugnant.
Also, you're broke.
So, despite these considerable hurdles..."
You decide that you're going to rid the world of leprosy.
"How?" I ask.
It's 1889 and you're in London and you're doing some heavy networking to raise the funds. Then you get invited to Russia as a thank you for your work as a war medic.
That's when you hear about a colony of lepers
Banished to a forest miles away from anywhere.
and left to die.
Now remember, back then only religious people could cure leprosy. You also learn about a magical herb growing there that can cure the disease. So now you have a plan. Travel to Siberia, find the herb, build a hospital, cure the colony, followed by the world. With the backing of some powerful people, you head to deepest, darkest Siberia.
On a hazardous journey that will take months.
In temperatures reaching -50 degrees.
And remember, you're a single woman who doesn't speak a word of Russian.
Thousands of miles later and weeks in the saddle, and you finally arrive here. And the magic herb isn't actually magic, but the world's press are watching you and you're raising enough cash to build the hospital. And now the locals aren't scared of leprosy sufferers anymore, and the community adore you, and you've got the approval of these guys. And you return a hero, winning royal recognition and lots of awards. But you're not stopping there, because you want to save the whole world from leprosy. And maybe you do dream of being up there with the greats. But then it all starts to go wrong when your past catches up with you.
"How do you mean?" I ask.
You made some enemies,
She says.
The New Zealand press resent your comments about there being leprosy amongst the Maoris.
And this lady
Becomes obsessed with proving that you're a cheat and a fraud, which makes her literally the worst enemy you can have. And there's this lady who is friends with her, and she decides there's no way a morally repugnant person such as you is going to get royal recognition, which makes her the second worst enemy you can have. Do you give up?
she says.
No. You set up a mission in London to keep your dream alive, but now you've lost credibility and you can't get funding. 20 years later, you move to sunny, quaint Bexhill and set up a museum. But the retired Baptist minister that you're working with brings up your past, and the local mayor won't join the committee if you're on it, so you're forced to leave.
So how's that for a cruel twist?
In Russia, you're a hero with a title. They refer to you as the great saviour of our people. You've got a statue, a memorial plaque, a town square named after you. There's even one of these, a 55-carat diamond named after you. But back home you die penniless and destitute and are laid to rest, totally forgotten about, in an unmarked grave.
And the memory of you fades away.
Until one day, 88 years later,
When someone hears the story of the young heroine who sets out to save the world,
from unnecessary suffering.
and they think that story is worth telling.
And so they tell it.